Hi everyone, this is a walkthrough of how you can put together a virtual recital for your students using the YouTube playlist feature. It obviously is not actually live because everything's pre-recorded, but it does allow you to put all of the performances in one place. And if you like, you can set a specific day and time that your virtual recital goes live that you can send to your families on social media or whatever. And I'm sure there are many ways that you could do this. This is just the way that I like to do it that I wanted to share with you. The video editing software I use, unfortunately it's Mac only. It's called Screenflow. It's amazing. It's highly recommended. It is very budget friendly. I think it's around $125 or so, and all of the major upgrades are only $35 per upgrade after that, and it has a ton of features that make it incredibly easy to edit video. So I'm going to walk you through how I like to edit the performance videos that families send me of their students, and then I'll walk you through the process of uploading to YouTube. And if you don't like Screenflow, or if you have a different editor, or if you don't really want to see the video editing portion, feel free to scroll ahead up to the YouTube portion of this video. And I'm actually screen recording in Screenflow right now. So Screenflow is already open, and I'm just going to open a new project to do some editing of a video. I just select new document. It gives me some options here. I'm just going to click go on that. So this is an empty project in Screenflow, and I'm going to start by bringing in the video, the performance video. I think this is the right one. Let's see. Nope, sorry, this is the wrong one. That one I already uploaded earlier. Let's check this one. Yeah, here we go. So as you can see, it's as easy as just dragging the file from my desktop onto the timeline right here. And I already have my video imported, and I'll fit it to the window. The screen dimensions are sort of set by default. You can change that here. So I'm going to change the stage, which is this sort of black box. Anything in this black box is what your audience is going to see. So I changed that. Oh, sorry, that didn't seem to work. Let's see. You may need to play around with the controls a little bit. Usually this one fits. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So that should fit the window precisely, and I believe this was recorded on an iPhone. And usually I start by snipping the beginning and the end. So I like to have students take a bow before and after to simulate the recital experience. And I can sort of cut the beginning of this. I probably don't need to, but I'll just sort of snip the edge here. And all I have to do is press T, the keyboard shortcut, and that snips that piece of footage. I'll back that up to the beginning of the timeline, and I'll handle the end when I get there. One nifty feature of Screenflow is that for about $60 a year, you can get access to a bunch of royalty-free stock images and clips, and you just have to type something in the search bar and you'll get pictures, video, and sounds related to that. So for example, if I wanted to do something with balloons, I get all of these images and even video that has to do with balloons. And pretty much the sky's the limit as far as what you can think of. You'd be pretty amazed what they have stock images, sounds, and videos for. But I'm just going to search for some applause sounds. People get a kick out of it, and it does sort of simulate the recital experience a little bit. Here, I'll try this one. So I'm just going to drag in applause, group applause, and I'll bring it to the beginning of my timeline here. And it adds that sound, the illusion of a live audience. And then if I want to get really fancy, I can make this a little more organic so it doesn't suddenly drop out when the sound ends. Screenflow has this feature called automation. It's either called automation or animation. So this is a sound file, so I'm just going to click the little speaker icon, and I just click action here. It gives me this little explainer box saying what it does. And what this little yellow thing does is I set what I want the video to look like and sound like at the beginning and at the end, and Screenflow sort of fills in the in-between for a transition. So if I want this to fade out, I'm just going to set the playhead to the end, and I'm going to set the volume to 0. And then watch what happens when I go back to the beginning. It sort of fades out a little bit more naturally. And then I tend to not really watch the videos from beginning to end, partly because it'd be pretty time consuming and partly because I would like to kind of enjoy the virtual recital experience, just listening it for the first time myself once it's part of the big playlist. So I might run through it just to make sure there's nothing really funny going on, and all you have to do is click and drag the playhead. Screenflow is pretty cool like that. So now I'm going to go to the end, where my student's going to bow. And what I like to do is add some applause at the end. And for some videos, I like to add another little extra effect. Let's see, I'll just use the same applause at the end. And you can see here there are also some videos underneath the applause search. So I might try this one. And a cool thing with Screenflow is that you can make automatic transitions between clips just by dragging one over the other. It automatically creates the transition for you. So I'm going to cut a little bit off the end of this, and I'm going to drag this virtual audience over here like that. And then I like to snip the ends so that everything ends at the same time. And then the end of the video will look like this. And just so that's slightly more realistic, I'm going to move all of that to a little earlier so that the applause is right after the ending. And I think I'll shorten this a bit. And with the video clips, you can't really extend them unless you loop them, then it ends up being kind of unnatural. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that time was a little more organic, but then we missed the bow. So let's extend that a little bit. Yeah, I think we can extend it a little more. And then I might add a little bit here. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So we've got applause at the beginning, applause at the end, and then I also like to add some text at the beginning with my student's name, and of course you'll have to ask parents permission if it's okay to share their name, if it's okay to share their first and last name, or just the first name, or no name at all. But again, this is really, really easy in Screenflow. I just tap this button here and add a text layer, and the student's name is Samuel. Then I can drag that wherever I want. And down here is where the text is going to appear on the timeline. So if I go back to the beginning, it'll look something like this. And if you want to add beginning and ending transition so it's not quite as abrupt, that's really easy too. If you just do a right click or a two-fingered click and select add starting and ending transitions, it automatically adds a fade in, fade out. And if you want to play around with these, all you have to do is double click the transition and it gives you all these options if you want to play around with different transitions, but I like to keep it reasonably simple and just do a fade in. So if we see what that looks like. Slightly more organic. And then I also like to include the name of the selection. So this is Dance of the Marionettes by Mario Tarangi. And then I'll just center this right here. This seems to fit pretty nicely. And I like to try to get it in and out before they really start playing. I'll try putting it right here. And again, I'll do starting and ending transitions. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I'm happy with that. So we have our completed video with applause at the beginning and the end, virtual audience at the end, a little bit of text so that the audience knows our performer's name and the selection, and I'm going to export that. There is a feature built into Screenflow where you can upload directly to YouTube, but with the latest version, there's some stuff going on between Screenflow and YouTube where they're still working out that feature. So it's not functioning right now. Hopefully that will be functional soon. But for now, it's just as easy to just go ahead and export that. So I'll name it something I'll remember. And then I'll start that exporting. And I'm going to fast forward this so you don't have to wait for the export bar to fill. Okay, our video file has exported, and I should be able to find it here on the desktop. Yep, here it is. So now it's time to go on to YouTube and get it uploaded. So I'm just going to open my browser and head over to YouTube. And if you have a Google account, I believe you should already have a YouTube channel. But if you need more specifics on how to set up your channel, just a few Google searches or even just looking up some YouTube videos, you'll be able to get plenty of information. So I'm just going to jump straight to how to get the video uploaded and how to get it set up. So you're going to click on your icon in the top right, and you'll go down to YouTube Studio. And the first thing you're going to want to do is set up a playlist to put all of your videos in that will be the recital. So you'll come over here to the left-hand toolbar, click Playlists. That'll open up a new window. And to get a new playlist started, you're going to click this button that says New Playlist, and then you'll type in your playlist title. I already have one set up because we have our next virtual recital this Saturday, so I'm not going to move forward with this, but you just type whatever in here that you want to call it, and that will display to the public, so just keep that in mind. And then when you click Create, you have 3 settings you could do. You could do public, unlisted, or private. Public means it's open to the universe immediately. Unlisted means that the user needs the specific link to find it. And private means that it's restricted to specific YouTube or specific Google users. I've had pretty terrible luck with the private setting. Usually people can't get in even when I say that it's okay for them to get in. So I found unlisted to be the best choice for my purposes. So I would recommend just going ahead and putting everything as unlisted, make the playlist unlisted, and make the videos unlisted until you're ready to officially put your virtual recital out into the world. And you can change these settings at any time. So I already have my playlist set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the video that I just created. So I'm going to go back into the YouTube Studio, and then I'm going to click this button in the top right that says Create, and then I'm going to tap Upload Video. And all I need to do is drag and drop that file that I just created. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag it from my desktop onto here. And at this point, it's actually a pretty quick process. See, it's already nearly halfway uploaded. And in the title, I might say, Samuel performs Dance of the Marionettes by Mario Turangi. And then in the description, you can really do whatever you want. This is how I like to do it. I'll say South Shore Piano School Virtual Recital, April 18th, 2020, 7 p.m. And it's already created the link that it'll connect to, even though it's processing the video, if you need it for any reason. And then as you scroll down, there are more options. You can upload a different image for a thumbnail. You can select different parts of the video to use as a thumbnail, which it generates once the video has processed. And then here it gives you the option to add the video to a playlist. And the playlists that you've created are listed here. So, so I'm going to tap the checkbox for this one, which is the upcoming recital playlist. Click Done. And then down here, you have to answer this question or it won't let you continue to the next screen. Is this video made for kids? So I have mixed thoughts on this one. If you select yes, it's made for kids, it disables it disables a number of functions. It disables the comments, and it makes it difficult for a user to save the video to another playlist. And usually a lot of families will request that the video be either taken down or put as unlisted once the recital is over, or after a day or two. So it's not really a huge concern. My preference, just because this is a community building effort, is to click no, it's not made for kids, purely so that people are able to leave comments on videos that they like, or to give some positive support. But it's totally your call, and I guess maybe it's a philosophical question. It's not really educational in the sense that we're teaching something to kids in the video, and a lot of the audience is adults all over the world. But it's totally up to you. But for now, I'm going to click no, not made for kids, just so I can have that functionality. And then there are some other options for video elements if that's something that you need or want. And then this last screen, visibility, again, we have the same three choices that do the same three things. We have public, we have unlisted, and we have private. I'm going to do this as unlisted. I'll click save. And that video is live now, or it's live unlisted now. So if I click on this link that it's generated, my video is now officially up on YouTube on an unlisted link. And we don't need to watch that right now. And if we go back to the playlist menu and click on this playlist that I added Samuel's video to, you can see his video is here. Now, once you have this filled out with your students' performances, you can rearrange the order of these, and then it auto plays in that order. So I'll show you a playlist from our previous virtual recital so you can see that in action. This was from our last one on April 4th. And this has 22 videos in it. And if you want to rearrange these, all you have to do is click on this little side handle and drag it up or down. So you can put the videos in any order that you want. And what I like to do is add some clips of myself at the beginning and at the end, and possibly somewhere in the middle, almost like I'm emceeing it live, even though the entire thing's pre-recorded. But there are a lot of cool creative possibilities here. And over here, if you tap any of these pencil icons, you can edit the name, you can edit the description, you can pretty much edit anything that you want. And then to share this playlist, even though since you're the creator, you have the edit screen, if you just copy this link, that's the official recital playlist. So you can send that to your families, you can put that on social media, you can put that wherever you want, that you want to give people access. And when you're ready to make it live, just change everything to public. That's the path of least resistance, so that people can check out you and your students' performances. And I believe that's pretty much it. I don't think I left anything out, but if you have any questions or if I missed anything, please drop any questions in the comments below. I would be happy to help. And if you found this helpful, please do consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. We're going to be putting out a lot more videos for teachers, for parents, and for students in the coming days and weeks as we weather this new virtual universe together. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.